Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for being with me today. I do appreciate you clicking on my video. I sincerely appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been showing. All my numbers are up. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I did not set out to do a tutorial for this blanket, for this pattern, but you requested it from the corner to corner filet that I showed you last week. So I've got the tutorial for you today. I hope you enjoy it. As a reminder for my blanket, I did 13 by 13 squares, 13 squares by 13 squares, and I did 4 rows of single crochet for the border. And I used about 400 grams of yarn, and I used a 5mm hook, and the overall size of my blanket was 36 by 36. So for this tutorial, I'm going to jump up a little bit to a 5.5mm hook, and I'm using a remnant from my Ogo yarn. This was Sugar Wheel from Hobby Lobby. So go ahead and grab whatever yarn and corresponding hook size you'd like to use. All right, what you want to do is put a slip knot on your hook and then chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oops, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, keep your yarn straightened out, Amy. Okay, and then we are going to put a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So we don't count the one that's on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. In that 4th one, put a double crochet. And I just grab 1 loop. If you want to grab 2, that's your prerogative. And then what we've got here is the chain 3, and the double crochet is 2 double crochets. So now you're going to want to do a double crochet in each chain across, in each stitch across here, and we should end up with 9 double crochets. This whole pattern is based on 9 stitches across for the brick, and you've got 3 rows high. So get all of your double crochets in there, and when you get to the end, make sure you have 9. Otherwise, you have nowhere to start. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. And then I am going to chain 3. Flip your work around. And now we're going to build the filet row. If you don't want the filet in there, if you want solid tiles to maybe make this into a baby blanket or something, you're more than welcome to do that. So just ignore the skipping and the chaining part. But what we're going to do is chain 1 and skip 1. So this is the one where our original double crochet, our 3 chains came out of. So we're going to skip this one and go into this next one. So you should have a box like that. And then you're going to chain 1 and skip 1 and put a double crochet into the next, all the way across. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1. So now we're at that turning chain. You're going to put a double crochet in that last stitch. Now if you turn the stitch and go into the V of it, you end up with sort of a gap in between that one and the one next to it. So laying as it does, I'm just going to stab into it right here so that it doesn't turn that stitch, and it tends to lay closer next to the one next to it. So there's no gap right there. All right. So that's our second row that our fillets are now built into. So you're going to chain 3 and turn. And then we're going to have another 9 double crochets all the way across. So counting the chain 3 that you just did, now we're going to work into our space here. You don't need to go into the stitch if you don't want to. It looks a little bit different, so if you want to check on how that appeals to you or not, you can go ahead and try it both ways. But then we're just going to do 1 in each space across so that we have 9. Whoops, my yarn is caught up. Hold on here. Okay, so that you've got 9 double crochets all the way across, 1 in each space and 1 on top of each double crochet. So here we are in the last space, and then we want to put 1 in that 3rd chain because that's the top of that stitch. All right, so we've completed our first tile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and so we're going to start the next tile the same way we did. So we're going to chain 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and then again we're going to count 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. In that fourth, we're going to do a double crochet, and in each one across, so we should have 9 double crochets. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So if you've ever done a C2C before, a corner to corner, you're familiar with this part. This is how we flip to start the next row. Alrighty, sorry about that. I had to get a little more light. Okay, so here's where we stand. Our first brick, we chained 11, and then in the fourth chain from the hook, we double crocheted in the fourth chain, and then all the way across. So now, including those chains that we skipped here on the end, we've got 9 double crochets. Okay, and then this is kind of the same way that all corner to corners are worked. We're going to flip this panel this way, and now we're going to connect this tile to this work, to this brick. Okay, so in the grand scheme of things, a double crochet is 3 stitches tall. So we're going to count. Here's our first double crochet, second double crochet, third double crochet on that brick. So we're going to slip stitch to that brick, and now we're connected. Okay, so one of the ways that I changed the pattern is right here. We're going to chain 3, whoops, to grow our height to the next row, if you will. And now we're going to begin our fillet row. So to do that, we need to slip stitch again to the brick before us. So in the third one, just like we did, we're going to slip stitch here. Whoops. Okay. And then we're going to chain 1 and turn. And the 3 chains accounts for the first of our 9. So then we're going to skip the next one and double crochet into that third stitch on the brick. So we've just created our first box. So then you're going to chain 1, skip 1, and then double crochet in the next down the rest of the row. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. And our last one, chain 1. We're going to skip this one, and we've got that chain 3 over here. So just dig down right there so that the stitch stays flat. Whoops, and do a double crochet. So we've just done the next fillet row. We're going to chain 3 and turn. A lot of turning back and forth with this project. And then again, whatever you did on the first brick, continue to do throughout the pattern. So we need to account for 1 double crochet on each. So you're going to go down into the space, in my opinion. If you choose to go into the stitch itself, that's up to you. But 1 double crochet for each space, and 1 double crochet on each double crochet. So you should have 9 double crochets when you get to the end of this brick. There's 4, whoops, 5, 6, whoops, 7, 8 goes into the space, and then we need 1 more. So we're going to go right down. It's kind of a sideways stitch. It doesn't really matter how you feel comfortable going into that, but we just need 1 more double crochet right there. And if you just stay consistent with the way that you do it throughout the pattern so that it looks the same. So now you should have 9 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to slip stitch to the brick before us. So again, here's 1, 2, 3. This would be like the 3rd double crochet, and we're just going to grab the top like that and connect. So there we've got 2 completed bricks. Okay, so this way we're going to start another brick running sideways like this up top here. So do a chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now just know that you need to do 2 more in this section, and then you'll need 3 in this section and 3 in this section. So just use your best judgment. Now I like to, when I'm working this, because this is not, in my opinion, this is all in my opinion, this one here is not the edge of a blanket that I can lose to the border. What I mean to say is that I like to go into the stitch so that you can still see the stitch. If you go into the space, then you've eaten up that entire double crochet, and you may choose to do that. That's completely up to you. It's certainly a lot easier, but then looking at it, there's the gap there. So I actually prefer to go into the stitch on this row. Okay, excuse me there, I needed a tissue. So there's my one. I like to pick up part of that stitch itself, and I do grab 2 in that case just to make it a little secure. So there you go, and then that way, like I said, you can still see the stitch underneath it. So it makes my eye see the blocks better. That's just what I prefer. But you can do whichever you prefer. So then 3 across the middle section. 1, 2, and then again, this one on the end is just a little bit, you got to get pushing through there. Tell it who's boss. And then 3 more along here. One, 2, and then I try to make sure that the third one here is actually in the next stitch, in the base of it, in that bottom stitch, so it's not, so that it lays evenly. So if you can see here, this is where the 8th double crochet was, so this is where I need to be. If I were to miscount this somehow, then you'd have a little bumpy poo over here, and we don't want that. So go right in there and slip stitch it, and then your first row is secure. So then again, from here, you're going to chain 3, turn your work, and start your chain 1, skip 1s. Whoops, I didn't do that right. I just slip stitched. I'm supposed to do a double crochet in there. See, I could tell right away because I wasn't tall enough on my next round. So 1, 2, 3 chains, turn, and then you can see you're as tall as you should be. So this chain counts for the first double crochet. We're going to do 1 more chain and then skip the second one and go into the third for a double crochet, and chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, whoops, all the way across the row. Oop. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. Here's that chain 3. You want to grab that top guy. Oops, and do a double crochet. I do that a lot. I find my space and then I want to slip stitch, and then I'm like, no, that's not tall enough. So then you're going to chain your 3, turn your work, and now you need a double crochet into that space. If you've already done into the stitch previously, then continue to do that so it looks consistent. Otherwise, on this spot, I just go right into the space. And you can kind of feel your way as you go. So this is definitely something, in my opinion, that you can watch television or a movie or something while you're doing it. But get yourself 9 double crochets all the way across. And then remember, in this last one, we've got 1 in the space and then 1 on the top of the third chain so that it looks like a double crochet as well. Okay, so there is your third brick. And that's what we're looking like so far. So you can change colors any way you would want. If I were doing this, I would tie off completely here and tie on with a new color. You want that color change to be specific, so that's when I would just tie off. If you want to just continue in the same color, I think that's great. I think it's beautiful. And so let's go ahead and continue 1 more row. So we're going to chain 11. We're going to start a brand new brick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we're going to go into the fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4, with a double crochet. Oops. So that gives us 2 double crochets, and we need 9 in total. So do 1 double crochet in each chain stitch all the way along. And then we'll have 9 if you've got the right amount of chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. See him hiding in there? All right. And now we need to flip the work and attach the brick. So this is where our new brick is. You're looking at it directly. Flip your work like this. And now in the third double crochet, 1, 2, 3, you're going to slip stitch here so that he's now attached to his brother brick here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. In that third one, we're going to slip stitch. And then we need to go up to the next row. So chain 3, because we're working with double crochets. Count 3 more double crochets down here. 1, 2, 3. And in that third one, we are going to slip stitch. And then we are going to chain 1 and turn. And then you've got to make sure that you count your places properly, because this kind of looks like it belongs to the side here. And if you don't account, this chain 3 accounts for this double crochet. So remember our 9s all the way across. So now we did the chain 1 and turned. So we have to skip this first double crochet because that's the chain 3. And then we're skipping 1 for a space. So we're double crocheting into that third down here. If you don't count right, then you'll be off when you get to the end. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, and then you're going to double crochet into the top of that chain 3 there. And that's how you know you've counted your spacing correctly. Okay. Chain 3 and turn your work. And then you're going to you're going to double crochet down into that space. Remember, if you've been going into the stitch, then you want to continue so. Otherwise, if you change this at this point in the game, I don't think it makes that big a difference. Nobody's going to, pick it out of your work like that. But it's always a good idea to stay consistent with crochet because there are different ways to do things. Sometimes it looks better to do a chain 2 for a double crochet. Sometimes you need the chain 3. So it really just depends on the project. So get your double crochets, 1 in each space and 1 in each double crochet all the way across. We need 1 more, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know we need 1 more, and he's going to go right on top of this guy. It is a little bit fiddly sometimes, but just get him in there. And you may see as you're doing the work that you prefer the way it looks if you do it like this or if you do it like that. So just learn as you go. So now we've got all 9, and we need to slip stitch to the top of this brick, and we want to make sure we get it in that third one so that it's all even. Now at this point, you may be getting concerned because I certainly did. The top of this brick is way up here, and then my work kind of sloops down a little bit because of our chain spaces. As you come through and tie that up to the next one, it looks better. I promise. Okay. So now we are at the top of another brick where we're going to do our double crochets this way. So you're going to start with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And then, like I said, you go whichever way you prefer. I dig into the stitch so that you can still see it. We need 3 double crochets across this section. We need 3 double crochets across this space section. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 double crochets across this section. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then we are going to slip stitch him to his brother brick over here, and we want to go up 3 double crochets. So in him there's 1, 2, 3. We're going to slip stitch here. We're going to chain 3 to get up to the next row, but we still have to attach him, so count another 3 double crochets to slip stitch to him, and then chain 1 and turn. And you can make a little bit looser of a chain in that one so that it doesn't pull so much. Remember to count your 9 double crochets. So you need to count this one for the chain 3 that we just did. This one is going to be your skip for your chain, and we're going to double crochet into that 3rd double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, and then double crochet into the top of that 3rd turning, that 3rd chain. Okay. All right, so then we've got another chain 3 to do to turn our work to run the last double crochets of this brick, and we're going to go right on each space and right onto each double crochet. Oops. So you've got 1 here, 1 here, 1 in the space, whoops, 1 in the top of this one, 1 in the space, and then our last, the 9th double crochet, needs to go right on top of that chain 3, right where he slip stitched into the other brick there. And that's our 9 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the 3rd chain here. And that completes. So from here to build the next brick, you'll chain 3 and then do 2 more double crochets in this section. And then you'll do 3 double crochets within the filet row section. And then you'll do 3 double crochets within this section. And make sure you're grabbing right at the base of that edge stitch. You can see here that's the stitch for that second to the second to the last one there. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you grab the edge so that it stays squared off. Okay, so you'll have 9 double crochets there, and then you'll chain up 3 and turn your work, and you'll do a chain 1, skip 1 across the row, and then you'll do your last double crochet in that 3rd chain, and then you'll chain 3 and flip your work again and have 3 more double crochets. So you'll have 1 more entire brick like this sitting right up top here, and then you'll chain 11 and double crochet in the 4th and in every row across, so that you're starting your new brick. That brick is going to be connected here. That next brick that you just did is going to be connected here, and you flip your work this way. You're going to slip stitch to connect it, do your filet row, and so on. And you just continue to go and go as long as you want. You have to decrease at some point. So this is where I would tie off to change color. If you don't want to change color, but you don't want your side to grow any longer, if this is as big as you wanted it to go this way, then what you do is slip stitch across. So go ahead and just turn your work and slip stitch all the way across. So there should be 9 slip stitches, 1 for each stitch. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So after you've slip stitched across, you've got 9 slip stitches all the way. Now you're going to start to build your brick here, and then you'll build your brick here. Okay, and so I will meet you back over here. Okay, so here we are at the top of the last brick, and we need to slip stitch back across so that we can fill in the space, because this is the only brick that we need left to do. As you as you turn, stop growing one side and you stop growing the other, the amount of bricks you need to do decreases. And so, because this is just a sample, I only have one brick here to go. But we still, it's the work is the same. You still have to, I don't do a chain one. I just chained one. I don't mean to. Slip stitch all the way across. So you should have 9 slip stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So there you are. Now you're just going to work your brick the way you have been. You're going to do 3 double crochets, or a chain 3, and then 2 more double crochets in this section, 3 double crochets in the fillet section, and 3 double crochets in this section. On the 3rd double crochet from this brick, you're going to count over 3 and slip stitch, and then chain 3 for your next row, slip stitch again when you've counted up 3, do your fillet row of chain 1, skip 1 all the way across. You should land in that last double crochet, that is a chain 3 of that row, and then you work your last double crochets across, and you just tie off here. Okay, and then the single crochet border that I did, if you choose to do that, just tie on to any corner. I do 3 single crochets in each corner. You can also do a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet if you'd like, and then I just evenly place 2 single crochets in each section. I prefer 2 single crochets in each section to 3 because I think it gets a little bit too bulky. And that is where you end up. Just having a single crochet border here, 1 in each. Oh, excuse me, I'm still getting over being sick. And there's our single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in each corner. All right, guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for sitting with me today. I do appreciate your time. If you have any questions whatsoever about the pattern, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I will answer them as quickly as I can. I don't want you to get hung up on any parts of this project. It was a lot of fun, and I think you'll enjoy it. So have a wonderfully blessed day. Please do come back and see me again. Thank you. Bye-bye.